money, but I don't have business expertise and business acumen. You have a business, okay? So I invest my money in your business, but I'm not running the business. You're running it. If the business makes a profit, I get a share, but it'll be less than musharaka. If the business suffers a loss, I share in the loss. This is mudaraba, and this is how a stock market, actually, stock market operates. But this must be a stock market which is free from riba. That stock market is actually the system of mudaraba at the level of a system. What kind of economic activities will there be in the village? Number one, the production of food. I think I spoke about this previously. And this will be the best food which will fetch the highest price, because organically produced food. Whatever surplus production we have, because the village will only consume the food it produces. We ain't eating no supermarket food, that's for Sydney. Okay? The village will consume only the food which it produces. And the reason for this is because of Suratul Kahf. The Suratul Kahf, where the young men were woken up after 300 years, and naturally you'll feel hungry after 300 years. And they sent one of their young men to buy some food, and they said, فَلْيَنْظُرْ أَيُّهَا أَذْكَى تَعَامٍ. So go search for that food which is purest, indicating that food in the age of Dajjal is going to be corrupted. That's it today. So surplus production of food will be marketed. We get an income from that. Secondly, the village must have industry. In Indonesia, for example, we'd want to concentrate on batik, because the Indonesians have a natural talent for artistry. Batik. Where industry needs energy, where are we going to get the energy from? Where are we going to get the energy from? Are we going to depend on the government for energy? Suratul Kahf answers and points to nature. Points to nature. Go to nature for energy. In Suratul Kahf, which one of nature is pointed out to? Solar energy. وَنُقَلِّبُهُمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ. How is this affected? They're being turned to the left and to the right. How? وَتَرَى الشَّمْسَ إِذَا طَلَعَتْ تَزَاوَرُ عَنْ كَهْفِهِمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَإِذَا غَرَبَتْ تَقْرِضُهُمْ ذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ وَهُمْ فِي فَجْوَةٍ مِّنْهُ. When the sunshine enters in the morning, the sunshine enters in the evening, but in the daytime sunshine does not enter. And the bodies are rolling to the left and the right. Obviously this is attraction to sunlight. What is this called in science? Attraction to sunlight. Photo? Not photosynthesis. You gotta go back to your physics book. Phototropism. And now the sunshine is transformed into energy. What is this called? Photosynthesis. And so Suratul Kahf is pointing to nature as a source of energy. In this case, solar energy. So that you achieve energy independence. You have water independence, you have energy independence. We want to have industries in the village, because we do not want a village in which all our men folk in the morning they go to work to Sydney, and in the evening they're coming back home. This is not a Muslim village, it's a hotel. We want a Muslim village in which Salatul Jummah and the Masjid, Salatul Dhuhr and the Masjid is full. Salatul Asr and the Masjid is full. So for that we've got to provide means of livelihood, sustenance within the village. So the village will have its own economy, and there will be those present here tonight who will be able to do a better job than I can in working out that economy. Why is Tabligh Da'wah less effective than Islamic village Da'wah? No. I don't know what is Tabligh Da'wah. I know what is Tabligh, it is to reach out. I know what is Da'wah, it's to call. I don't know what is Tabligh Da'wah. Good. I was talking about those who build a 5-star masjid. Oh yes, 5-star. And calling the people to the masjid. And the masjid is full. But they don't know they built the masjid on a ship that is sinking. And the ship is sinking and they don't know it. And when the ship sinks, they will sink with it. And they're calling people to Islam while the ship is sinking. Real da'wah must emerge from a people who are people who understand the world, using Islam to understand the world, and using Islam to respond to the world. That is da'wah, and I gave you the example of how the Muslim village would impact upon the black masses. America and Britain are all capitalist states. Policies built upon interests. Regarding Israel, it has always been a tool of the capitalist state. It derives its legitimacy and strength from these states. Israel and Jews are cowards. How can Israel take on the Muslims? Isn't it the US, with its build-up of troops, that is preparing to take on the Muslims? My answer is, wait and see. Wait and see. I have used the hadith to describe a reality in which one ruling state is about to give way to another. So my analysis comes out of the hadith. This analysis comes out of political analysis, using normal tools of political analysis. I think this would be a valid analysis for someone using normal tools of political analysis. But someone using the Quran and Sunnah will understand that this is not correct. In your booklet, you've only talked about the Middle East. When will the situation in the Indian subcontinent? What about the situation in the Indian subcontinent, South Asia and Central Asia? This is not correct. In my booklet, I said that the United States could not have been attacked on September the 11th unless you had first put in place a government in Islamabad. It's there in my book. They had to first put their man in Islamabad before they could attack the United States on September the 11th. And so all that drama in the sky about an aeroplane running out of fuel, that belonged to Hollywood. That belonged to Hollywood. Nawaz Sharif, the Prime Minister, was absolutely correct when he said that this was a conspiracy hatched against me. So that I could be removed from power, and so that this government could be put in place. No elected government of Pakistan could ever have consented to the United States using the territory of Pakistan to attack Afghanistan. That is suicide. No government would have done that. Not even the worst government of Pakistan would ever have done that. So you had to have a Jewish government in Pakistan, a government established by the Jews to serve the Jews. You could have had a government in Pakistan would allow the United States to use the territory of Pakistan to attack Afghanistan. So don't say that I did not speak about the subcontinent. What role will Iran play in the upcoming rising from Khorasan? This is tomorrow's lecture. No, yeah, tomorrow is Imam al-Mahdi? Yeah, tomorrow. If the state of Israel will be dominant over the whole world, will it be without anyone's help? If the answer is yes, then what does it mean by Allah's word, illa bihablim min Allah? When the Jews boasted of what they did to Nabi Isa alayhi salam, okay, that was the last straw. Then Allah's curse came upon them. وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ. And even in Surah Al-Fatiha, غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ. The Jews. Now their fate around the world is to live in misery, to live in poverty, إِلَّا بِحَبْلٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَحَبْلٍ مِّنَ النَّاسِ. The only exception to this, the only time the Jewish civilization can prosper after the attempt to crucify Isa alayhi salam, is if they live under a non-Muslim rule, and that non-Muslim rule extend to them guarantee of security. Or if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were to give it to them temporarily. Other than this, their state will now be maskana and zilla and ghadab min Allah. What is the source of income in the Muslim village? Can we maintain our careers and jobs, or do we have to return to subsistence farming? I don't think this is subsistence farming. If you're producing that food which will fetch the highest price. I mean, in South Africa, 6 million whites are going to be lining up to buy this food because they know they can trust Muslims, they can't trust anybody else. It's like blood. When they want blood, the best blood you can get is Muslim blood. I mean, full-time Muslim, not part-time. So the food which will be produced by the Muslim village will fetch the highest price. This is not subsistence farming. But I've mentioned that in addition to farming, food crops and dairy farming, the village must also have its own industry. We can have cottage industries like batik in Indonesia, cottage industry. I mean, there are some Muslims, not the Malay, but the Indian Muslim, Pakistani Muslim. I mean, he's been given a special talent for computer software engineering. You go down to Silicon Valley in San Francisco. You know how many Hindus, Indians are out there? The place looks like Little India. Huh? Silicon Valley looks like Little India because, of course, the Hindus are the ones who have taken the market. But it's also because of a special aptitude that Allah has given to a people. Wallahu anbatakum min al-ardi nabata. Allah has caused you to emerge from the earth like trees and plants. And some trees are for timber, some are for shade, some are ornamental. So these are people who have been endowed the aptitude for this kind of work. Inna sa'ayakum la shatta, another ayah. So why can't we, from the Muslim village, why can't we have software engineering companies operating out of the village? Huh? How can we implement Islam in this country? How can we apply two systems in one country? In your Islamic village, will we have the power to set up political, economic and judicial institutions? What will the Australian government have to say? This is Australia, but we already have a case study of Hama in Syria in 1982. The answer is, so long as you do not threaten the state, and so long as you enforce the Quran and the Sunnah, you have one more actor in the equation now. And that actor is fa'alul lima yurid. He has the power to do whatever he wants. That actor is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran, He has declared that if you disconnect, يَنْشُرْ لَكُمْ رَبُّكُمْ مِرَحْمَتِهِ, He will shower you with His rahmah. If, however, the government, not necessarily Australia, the government comes after you even in a remote village, where you do not threaten the state at all, this will provide you with a propaganda victory.